The follow-up is simple. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then follow up. I'm your host, Noah Kozlov. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a conversation about something I want to talk about. And this week we're going to talk about the environment and animals.
And this is episode 99.
99.
Episode 99.
90? Wait, 90 is like this? 90. 90. 99.
Okay, so this is one of those examples of, you said to me, this is what I want to talk about. So, why?
I wanted to talk about this because it's a very important topic because our environment is very important to keeping humans alive, basically. There has to be enough oxygen for everybody to breathe in, and enough, because then that also, when we breathe in, we let out carbon dioxide. So that's also helpful, but also we have greenhouse gases that affect the environment. So those are very important. Those are very important because we need to fix those things. We have to recycle more, so those don't happen because that will just be bad. And on there's a clock, I forget where.
In Union Square?
Yeah, in Union Square, and it shows this many years, this many days, and this many seconds until a climate emergency. I think it's 7 years. Something.
Yeah, so there's a digital clock in Union Square which has been running for years, but now it is recently changed to an environmentalist organization bought it and it is supposed to count down the years, months, days, minutes, seconds to when climate change is irreversible, when it is a full-on emergency. So we can't wait to that point. I'm going to be honest, this isn't something that I thought about much as a kid.
I feel like I thought about that more once I read that climate change book.
What book was that?
He was What Is Climate Change?
Oh. And it opened your eyes to a lot of different things. And I know we've talked about it a little bit before on the podcast.
I feel like polar bears you could relate to, with the icebergs and stuff about it.
Right, so everything is related.
Yeah,
so
that was actually on the cover of that book.
But the polar bears?
Yeah, and it showed just it was sitting on this little thing of ice because, and then there was so much ocean.
Right, because as everything if things get warmer, then the ice melts,
right.
And then you'd end up losing the polar bear population, and you have floods. I mean, we talked about this.
Polar bears are cute.
Yeah, we talked about this the other night about having just this extreme weather all the time. These extreme weather events that lead to death and destruction.
And tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes.
Yeah, earthquakes and floods and fires.
Like in Arizona right now, there are so many fires just spreading like wildfire.
So
wildfires spreading like wildfire.
Right. So when you're talking about different animals in these environments, it's all part of the food chain. I often think, even this week we were talking about, I think something about sharks. So I looked up.
Oh yeah, sure.
I looked up. Well, what would happen if sharks went extinct? We hear the word extinction all the time. But in animals, you got to save, and I always wonder about why.
Well, I told you what would happen if sharks went extinct, and then you looked it up more.
Yeah. So what's the result of that?
The result, if sharks went extinct, was how we have pollution in our ocean. There would be sharks help our ocean stay cleaner with that pollution. So our ocean would just be polluted, and nothing there would be able to eat it.
Right, because sharks eat certain fish, and so then there would be a explosion of these smaller fish in there, and then they help protect the sharks help protect the coral reefs and the other wildlife
Right.
inside the ocean to keep the ocean clean.
Right.
So they would just be overrun by all these other organisms and bacteria if the sharks weren't there, and then
Right.
we wouldn't have healthy oceans.
And like the ocean would be ruled by like a tiny fish that's like this big.
Probably not, but
Well, you know what
yes,
I mean.
yeah. So, but everything is related to one another.
Yeah.
Like you're asking about pandas. Like, what would happen if pandas went extinct? Because you have a friend in Australia, and so as
Koalas.
koalas, and as they lose more and more of the bamboo, then the koalas are in trouble, right? Because that's what they eat.
Koalas don't eat bamboo.
Pandas eat bamboo.
Pandas eat bamboo, and pandas live in China, not Australia.
But the koalas live in the trees, right? And they're losing
Yeah,
trees.
they-
That's what it is.
Koalas live in eucalyptus trees,
Eucalyptus. See?
not bamboo.
Paying attention.
I'm paying attention
Good.
from Izzy's Koala World show on Netflix. That's how I know.
Izzy's
that.
Koala World show?
That's on Netflix. That's how I know that. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So then, so if we lose those trees, then we're gonna lose the koalas.
Right.
Pandas, I read that.
People lose bamboo.
Right, but pandas are responsible for just like elephants, of carrying seeds
Right.
on them and then dispersing them and then helping
they're
helping to grow
Right.
trees.
Because they like shake off.
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got to be conscious of everything, but it's also
And we can't lose the cutest animals like red pandas.
that's true.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
really
sure.
cute.
Mm-hmm. And it makes me think, as mom has, she's been vegan for
Yeah.
a few years now, but more so that was just like she just felt better doing it. It makes you really think, and we've eaten less and less meat.
Right.
Makes you think about where everything comes from and
Right.
what our responsibility and role is. Like, I always thought as a kid, and even into adulthood, like, yeah, it's the planet. We'll figure it out. But you can't just have that attitude anymore.
Right.
Certain things need to be done.
Certain things need to be done because if they aren't done, yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, then
Right.
then you have one of those events like
Right.
the ice age or the planet becomes uninhabitable where you don't have a planet at some point,
Yeah.
or there's only certain. It's more so also thinking about like
Or like
where you can
Right.
live is that going to shrink? We always talk about when you see this severe weather all over the place. I always say I think maybe New York City might be this safest place to live from all this because you get temperature changes,
Yeah.
but very rarely do you get severe weather events.
Yeah, like we barely get tornadoes. We like never get earthquakes. We never get hurricanes.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's been a long time since we had a hurricane here.
Yeah, that was like before.
Before you were born. So
That was like, what was that?
it was before you were born, Hurricane Sandy.
Right.
So
how many years ago? 2013.
11 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 12 years ago. But
So 2010.
so if it becomes a shrinking
Right.
area for everybody to live, and like as sea levels rise, then you're gonna have costs a lot of money. I don't know where that money's gonna come from to raise up houses
Yes.
and build higher dams and walls, and so then
The
things start to
government-
move inland.
well,
Yeah,
The
it's
government does not have that much money.
right. So
And they won't use all that money just for that.
right, yeah.
Because not everybody cares as much
It's
about the
a
environment.
it's a chain reaction.
Right.
But if things aren't impacting us like right in the moment, we
Yeah.
tend to think everything's fine. But it's not.
And I noticed like certain things that the temperature changes. Like one day I saw on the news the high was 71 degrees, and it got to that. The next day, the high was 45 degrees. So it's just like that's a 26-degree drop.
Yeah. And that's all because of what is going on in the atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah.
With the greenhouse gases. Like if this is our Earth, let's say my arms are fired right here. This is oxygen and carbon dioxide, and then just above that, until like my hands, that's just greenhouse gases, like all of bad gases. There are layers.
Right. It's a lot. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And,
The
like,
emissions are high from
Right,
cows, from
like-
companies, from all sorts of
Yeah,
things.
like Los Angeles. So many people drive there that there are so much greenhouse gases, and that's why
Yeah,
it's not as like,
Yeah,
that's why
that's
you
all-
always
that's part
see,
of it.
like gray above
Smog,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, smog.
yeah, that's part of it.
That's greenhouse gases. Really.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, I
And then
I think I
those-
gotta learn more about it too.
Yeah, and then those spread. Like they don't always stay in one spot. Like they spread to other cities. And
Oh, sure, because they move all around. They
Right.
end up in the atmosphere.
right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're conscious of this.
And also, I could can I say one more?
Yeah,
thing?
sure.
Also, space junk.
Space junk.
Space junk is
What is
like
that?
it's like space trash basically. Like,
Okay.
Just trash.
Yeah.
It just goes all that's in space.
Huh. How does it get there?
I forget how it gets there, but it's like I think it's maybe for I forget how it gets.
But it's
there.
not like real trash.
It's not real trash.
It's
but
gases.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
okay.
turned into like molecules basically.
Oh, interesting.
Space, I think. Pretty
Huh.
sure it's that. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, pretty sure it's like that.
Well, I'm glad you came up.
Sounds
I'm glad that you wanted to discuss
Yeah.
this topic. Yeah. All right. I love you.
I like it.